Let's begin with breaking news from Thailand, where hundreds of riot police are confronting anti-government protesters around the Prime Minister's office in Bangkok. Police have been firing on the protesters. It isn't clear if any live rounds have been let off. Police are attempting to retake government buildings which have been occupied by demonstrators since December. Mariko Oy has more.
Clashes in central Bangkok. This is the area protesters have been occupying since December. They've been campaigning to oust Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra. But on Tuesday, the government has launched an operation to clear the area. Hundreds of protesters have been arrested.
On behalf of the government, I insist we will protect the benefits of the farmers and of the people. I will not let a political game take advantage of and hostages of our brothers and sisters.
Protests started in November when the Prime Minister tried to pass an amnesty law that would possibly allow her brother and former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra to return from exile. Their opponents accused the family of nepotism and corruption. The government called for elections, but they were disrupted 2 weeks ago. The discussion continues on how to complete them so that a new government can be formed. But meanwhile, the authorities are determined to retake the area besieged by protesters. Mariko Oy, BBC News.
Jonathan Head is in Bangkok for us. He's been witnessing a lot of the police that are firing at the moment, firing guns. Jonathan, we're not sure if they're live ammunition, but I understand the shooting still continues.
Some of it's definitely live, judging by the injuries that I've seen. And there had been still sporadic shooting right up to a couple of seconds ago. But the standoff quite close to what's known as Democracy Monument, one of the best-known monuments in the old city in Bangkok, which has been a camp for some of the protest groups since last December, or even earlier than that, November. And there was a clash earlier where police initially detained one of their leaders. A number of police were hit by gunfire. We believe one may have been killed. And the police have answered with gunfire of their own. I've seen a number of injured people, at least 5 or 6. Some of them quite serious. I mean, one man looked to me like he wasn't going to survive. He was losing a lot of blood. Now, the police have agreed to pull back, but only if the protesters don't advance. So the protesters are in a very aggressive and militant mood, and they have pushed forward, and the police have been answering with occasional volleys of gunfire, even up until a few seconds ago. So it's still very tense down where I am. There are other standoffs in other parts of the city around government. There are large numbers of riot police confronting a very large mass of protesters, many of them ordinary people. And the police have been trying to negotiate more access. They haven't succeeded yet. There's a huge amount of mistrust between the two sides. The police want to gain some ground. Their objective eventually is to get the Prime Minister back into her office. But looking at the mood of the protesters there and how well dug in they are and the defences that they built, immense barricades of sandbags and tyres, plus the fact that some of them are armed, I think would make it a very, very difficult job. Here down near Democracy Monument, the situation is extremely tense, and we've had many people injured in just the last hour, and we believe at least one policeman killed.
OK, Jonathan, I know you're going to keep us up to date. For the moment, though, we'll say thank you. Jonathan Head in Bangkok there with the latest.